Hello my friends, how is everybody doing today? My apologies for not seeing too much of you. Lately here, it just seems like work doesn't seem to want to end for me sometimes. I don't quite understand that, but it's all good, and I hope y'all are doing great. I've been working on a little inside-out turning art piece for a while, so I wanted to take a minute and show it to you. I've made it out of some burrs, and I think it came out quite nice, actually. It's a little inside-out turning art piece, so I hope you all enjoy it. I've also, you might see part of it in the background back here. I've got a small shop workbench I'm working on, and a couple of drawers I've got to get finished up here for you. You know, the kind you store tools in. Not those other ones now, okay? Let's get started on this. And great to be here with you, my friends. Alright, my friend, I'm building my forms here. And what I do to make sure no resin leaks out of them is not after the fact, but as I'm nailing them, before I'm nailing them together. I'm caulking up the joints, the seams, whatever you want to call them. And that has always worked very well for me. I don't need to use any of that very expensive red tape on the corners. I don't need to worry about leaks. I don't need to come back after the fact and put a bunch of messy caulk on the outside. I just need to beat y'all up with this hose here, smacking the camera. Or maybe it's smacking me, I don't know. I'm not looking at the camera. Yeah. There we go. And that way I get a nice tight corner. Whoop, sorry guys, told you that hose would get you. And I get a nice tight corner there every time. Gonna finish nailing them together, guys. Get them all caulked up and nailed up and get right back with you. Hey my friends, the official member of the Bonehead Club here. I had to wind up going ahead and putting some clear plastic tape on the inside of two spots on my boxes, because like the lead boneheader I am, I went ahead and nailed the board on backwards. Left my melamine on the outside, particle board on the inside. And my reason for that is, I'm showing you all this because yes, I make mistakes, and a lot of them too. Number two, the resin would stick to that and I'd have to chisel it off of there. With the tape, it'll come off a lot easier, so that's why I did that. There's clear tape on there now. Alright my friend, I'm setting in my blocks here of my burr, and I'm going to go ahead and tack them down with a little hot glue so they don't float around on me too much. Wouldn't you know, that just accidentally happened to perfectly fit, huh? Just kidding. Y'all know that could never happen. You gotta measure and square up these blocks. They do not come square. Now, I've got to hold that for a little while before it dries. So if y'all want to watch me, just kidding. Alrighty, my friends, I got them all sitting in their little forms, waiting to go into that pressure pot as soon as we mix up the resin. Gotta decide on some colors here now. Let me get at it, my friends. Alright, my friends, time to mix up a little total boat. Awesome resin. Awesome, I love using it. Alrighty, and we're mixing up our total boat here, guys. Mr. Berko helping out on a little bit of the resin work today. Alright guys, I'm using some eye candy today, a nice little purple. Kind of dark there, huh? Sorry about that. And some Okie Dokie blue. Silly camera decided to go out. Can y'all believe that?
You got the option to move it.
Take your stick. Clean your stick on your cup. Clean it. Clean it. Now wipe my stick. There you go. Wipe my stick. Yeah, but the other side. Yeah, come on. One more. Hey, you got it, my friend.
This was nice.
Alright, move your stick. Okay, in we go. Very right in the center. Good job, man. You're gonna be a resin worker yet. Alright. Fold that paper up so it makes a dam in case of a leak. Like this. In. Fold it in. Fold it in. Now fold it up. Tight. Make tight seams. Tight seams. Tight seams. There you go. Good job. Alrighty, my friends, let's see what we got here. There's that beautiful pressure pot pattern. Can't get that without a pressure pot, my friends. Y'all might notice I have most of my pressure pots laying sideways. I just find it so much easier sliding something in than dropping it in, having to build those little handle racks and stuff. And I always try and lay a wax paper dam, for lack of a better words, before I put the object in, just in case of a leak. Hey my friends, the type of turning I'm going to be done on these is different than your normal turning. They are called an inside out turning, but even more so than that, when I put them back together after the first turning, I want to line them up in an exact certain order, and I'll show you what I mean. So instead of just being able to throw these on the lathe like they are, I'm going to clean them up on the joiner first to get all four edges nice and clean and very close to an equal square. Doesn't have to be exact, but very close. I've done something this size on the joiner before, so that's how I'm going to do them. Let me get at it. Got to clean them up. Here we are, guys. Got all three of them cleaned up on the joiner there. And the type of turning you're going to see me doing here, it's critical that all my corners be consistent, where it lines up the resin between the wood and the resin, 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 and so on. I couldn't have any excess resin on one side or something, because when I put them back together, and this will become apparent, I promise you, they need to line up, and I'll show you what I mean, guys. Alright guys, here's my solid piece. I cleaned them up nice and pretty. Looked kind of rough when they came out the resin. Remember I told you blue didn't look so pretty? Yeah. One solid piece. Can you see the four lines? Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4 half. 4 quarters. Oh, forgive me. If I was to put this on the lathe like this, as one solid piece, do my turnings, taking out whatever shape I wanted to take out of the middle here, and then spin them, none of these seams, these points would line up. My resin would hit in a weird spot, my wood would hit in a weird spot. It just wouldn't work. by doing that cutting like that on there. Hard to see that pencil, I know it is, but I drew a line there. And then spinning A and B, 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 A, A, A. Right? I'm gonna cut it into 4. I'm not gonna worry about sanding my outside edges because now these are gonna become my outside edges. Alright? These are gonna become my inside edges. That's why I have to have them nice, smooth, and perfect. Right? I'm gonna cut it in 4 and spin it in reverse, putting all my A's to the inside. When I glue it back together, this for the first time when I glue it together, these are not going to line up at all. Right? They're going to be the inside of the turning. This part. The center. Okay? Once I've turned that and flipped them around, they are going to go back together just like this. Putting all my seams back together. Remember how I showed you if it was regular wood, the grain wouldn't line up? I need it to come back together. Mine absolutely has to line up if I want to maintain this pattern that I have in it on the outside of the turning. When the contour is cut into the outside of the turning, right there, and I wish I knew a way to make pencils show up better on that. You want everything to stay lined up. So that's why I'm doing it that way, my friends. And I'll go through this as I'm doing it and hope it makes it even clearer for you. Alright guys, A on the out, B on the inside. I have to spin every one to glue them together. A's to the inside. A and A. First I'm going to glue these together. Pattern's off, correct? First I'm going to glue, then I'll glue these together. After those dry, I will glue them together that way. Just like so. I'm going to do them with a small dot of sienna acrylate on each corner. Alright guys, I can't rush this process for you. I've got to check and double check. I only get one shot. I want my bottoms to be flush. I want my backs to be flush. The outside is irrelevant at the moment. Okay? Just like so. There we go guys, and I glued the two halves together. And I swear to God I turned the camera on. What can I say? I'm sorry. But I glued them together. Alright my friends, I put a little reinforced fiber tape stretched real tight around both ends to help hold the block together. Alright my friends, it's time for a little sanding. There we go, my friends. Got it sanded all the way up to 400, I think, or 600. Let me give y'all a quick peek. Nothing matches. Oh boy, what are we gonna do? Alright, my friends, let's take it apart. Maybe you can see how tight I had that tape stretched. Watch the tape. Nah, didn't do what I thought it would do. But, okay. Don't think that'll take much effort. Four pieces. There you go, my friends. Have you figured out where I'm going with this yet? Hey my friends, y'all saw me do a buffing on the center. I just buffed it. I did not use the wax on it, just the Triple E and the white diamond. And I buffed that part before I did my inside glue up sanding area, so that I did not have any buffing compound chance of having any left where I'm gluing it up together. So that's why I buffed it first, then came back and sanded this edge. Of course I sanded the back edge first. Not really necessary, that's all going to get turned, but I want, well, I'll show you. But that's what I'm going to do. You're going to see me gluing them together with resin, not with yellow glue or hide glue or resin glue. The reason I'm going to use resin is yellow glue will leave glue lines. Go check something that you've glued up years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago. You can feel the glue lines, yellow glue raises. I do not want that happening here. I could use resin glue, but I don't want a chance of any of that squeeze out getting on the inside. I'd rather some resin, if anything. So that's why I'm using resin to do this. And you're also going to see me spicing up my resin and sprinkling a little bit of salt on the resin when I'm gluing them together. And the reason I'm doing that, guys, when you're gluing up wood with yellow glue, hide glue, resin glue, resin, whatever, the boards want to slide around and move. If you sprinkle just a small amount of salt on there, it acts as little tiny micro holders. It crushes between the wood grain on both sides, keeping the wood from moving for you, and of course does not affect anything with the glue up, besides adding a little flavor to it. Okay? So I'm going to be wearing my mask the whole time I'm doing this. I wouldn't be able to talk to you, so I wanted to let you know. And I'm so glad y'all are here. If y'all see me screwing up on anything, guys, speak up. Okay? Y'all let me know. Here you go, my friends. They're all glued up. Ready to sit there and dry. Alright, my friends, I've got to glue these back together now. Here we go, my friends, all glued up. And they say I have too many clamps, huh? Guys, you can never have too many clamps. Believe me. Alright, my friends, before I turn this, I'm going to cut the corners off of it. And I'll explain to you my reasonings afterwards. There you go, my friend, ready for turning. And I could clean it up a lot closer than that. By doing this, you save a lot of turning on the wood lathe, and I have a little way if I can clean it up almost to a perfect circle. But I ain't going to show you that on this videos, my friends. You have to wait and see. Then the other reason, any pin turner would be thrilled to have this rather than it be turned into scrap. Okay. You could also even take two of them, put them together, and do a turning a little larger. You could also go as far as to put all four together and make a great big turning. This burr and this resin is very expensive, and any way you can find to make use of it rather than turning it into sawdust, that's a good thing, guys. This thing is driving me nuts, fellas. My God, you think they'd stop ringing once in a while? Y'all get those soliciting calls like I do? Oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Here's a promo advertisement for you. Throw 'em away. Alright, my friends, what'd they call that thing on, that's the object. The object here. I'm going to go ahead and get it sanded up now on the outside from 120 up to 1,000. That'll take a minute or two. And then I'll get back with you guys. Let's get a sanding. Gotta sand. There we go, my friends. All sanded up to 1,000. A lot of folks might wonder why I didn't make a recess to bite this from the inside. instead of from the outside, so when I took it off the lathe it was finished and it didn't have the bottom. But this is an inside out turning. There are 4 pieces of wood together here. If I'd have made an inside grab, pushing outward on the turning would probably crack the glue seams. I know you hear glue is stronger than wood, but in some cases, and especially with this burr, I would do it this way and feel safer than trying to squeeze it outward. I've had it happen. And I will, on top of that, I'm making another base for the bottom of this. So, it's actually going to serve a purpose. Thought I'd stop and throw in that little tidbit, y'all. Alrighty, my friends, I'm gonna, that was 150 I shaped it up with, and now I'm gonna go from 150 up to 1,000 dry, and then I'll start wet sanding. I won't bore y'all with all that, you've seen it many times, but it'll be slow, tedious sanding, guys. Type of light I'm using, my friends, is a store-bought lamp end with these little compression clips on it that are going to hold them in, and it's just a simple hole I drilled in the bottom. I don't remember if I showed that on the video or not. It just holds in with, where's it going, with squeeze pressure, dip, 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 dip. And mine needed a 1-inch hole. That's all there is to putting in the light for me. I've added some little feet to the bottom, stick-on rubbers, which means I don't have to cut a cord slot. It will sit and let the cord come out any direction I want it to because of the legs on the bottom. Wanted y'all to know. Hey, that came out kind of pretty, huh? Little artwork after the wood turning. And y'all may have noticed my glue-ups after I turned the inside didn't come out that perfect, in my opinion. They didn't look good. They weren't nice and tight. So I wasn't going to abandon the project. As you saw, I found a nice, unique way to cover those joints and blend it into the piece of art itself to hide it. Whenever you have an imperfection or something goes wrong in a project, and believe me, it does a lot for this guy, I tell you. Just look at it as another opportunity to make it more unique or to change it. Don't give up on something just because it goes wrong, okay? Things can be worked out, let's say. Right? I hope everything's going great with everybody. So good to see y'all here. A while back I met several of you at the SWAT wood turning show. Billy and Carl and James. Robert, I do remember. Yes, I do. Hope you see this, buddy. It was a pleasure meeting all of y'all again. Plus several others. I do have a bad memory, so forgive me there. But guys, as I was telling you earlier, I've got a couple of projects I've got to get finished. A couple of the inside of some drawers I'm working on. And I won a small countertop model workbench that I'm making out of some old oak to use on top of my big bench. I like to stand and sit there a lot. And that bench is strictly for a sitting height. So I'm going to make it where I can do a little standing work a little more comfortably at that bench. That would be the big one in the center of the shop over there. It's more like dining table height, sitting height, than it is stand-up work height. So I'm going to get back to work on that. And I hope the world is going good for everybody. On that note, I know it's a little rough out there right now, to put it mildly. A lot of folks are having a lot of trouble in our situation at the moment. And I'm hoping and praying it gets better and that the changes that we need to happen so we can all live in a peaceful world. There's nothing we need more than a peaceful world. I don't understand mankind and the hate people have for each other. And evil and fighting. I know it's out there. I know it's probably always will be, unfortunately, and that is so sad. If we could all just get along, that would be wonderful. But we have to work at it. We truly do. So, anyway, don't let me get on that soapbox. Great to be here with you guys. I've got some time, so I got to get back to work. And y'all have fun now. Bye.